Well, hey everybody. Today's project is going to be a bucket garden, not a garden to grow buckets, but but a portable stand that we're going to build to do some container gardening with the idea that we would be able to grow some of our own food, and it would be kind of a fun project since we don't have a whole lot else going on right now. So. The thing that kind of drew me to this project, there's a couple things. First off is the simplicity. It's all square cuts. Typically I like to build stuff in the wood shop because I have all my tools right there, but I don't like taking 8 and 10 foot boards downstairs, and I would not have liked to try to get this out of the wood shop and back upstairs. So we decided to build it out in the driveway. Use a handheld circular saw and a cordless drill. Those were the only tools, not counting the square tape measure. You can use nails if you don't have a drill. You can use a hand saw if you don't have a power saw. If you have a chop saw or radial arm, that would work great, but a hand saw would be good too. So this is a low barrier to entry project. Just about anybody can do this in the course of a day. Make your square cuts and start putting it together. So I'll take you through the steps that we went through, show you some of the mistakes I made. Maybe that will help you avoid them. But all in all, let her rip. It's a fun project, and one that I've really enjoyed making. So let's get started. So what we'll do here is I will share the measurements with you on a separate screenshot if you want to take these and make your own. But I have all the numbers written down, and actually went through and did a cut list for them too, so that I could maximize the number of pieces from each board. What we ended up with was we went and we bought 5 10-foot 2x4s and 2 8-foot 2x4s, and that should give us all the pieces that we need with a minimal amount of waste. So first thing we'll do is we'll take our paper and we'll look at our cut list and start marking out cuts to make. We'll use our tape measure and a speed square and start making them. So we'll make all the marks, and then we'll come back as we're cutting. Something you can do when you've got jobs that have multiple cuts that are the same is, instead of measuring each one, make sure you're flush on the end and just use your first line as your marker. And we're cutting from opposite ends here so that our middle piece will actually be the waist. So make sure that end's level and even. And if you see here that we're on the mark, we just do that. And just for myself, I just put a little tick there. Let me know, cut that side line. And that's just an easy way to make duplicate measurements without spending a ton of time measuring each cut. Well, after a few minutes of cutting and marking, we have our pieces. These are all we need to make the project. And out of all that wood, here is the cutoff pile. So we do have one kind of long piece, and then 3 pieces that are 10 inches or so, and a couple pieces that'll be great kindling. So we'll keep the longer ones for the next things that we find, but that's a pretty good use of wood. And now we start the assembly. So this is what the assembly will look like, the sides, and the thing to remember here is that you want to build mirrors. So in this instance, the bottom is facing to my right. When we build the next side, we want to put the bottom facing to my left. So these boards that are crossed will be on the inside of the box once it's built. So we'll just square them up, and I just chose 1.5 inches. The pictures that I'm working off of didn't have a distance for the bottom to the first rail, so we just took a 2x4, and knowing that's 1.5 inches, that's what we'll use as a marker. We'll get everything squared up and then zip it in with a couple screws on each corner or each intersection. For screws, we'll just use these 2.5 inch outdoor exterior rated number 2 head screws. They're self-tappers and self-countersinking. So it's just an outdoor project, but this is what they had at the home place, so that's what we'll use. Well, I was wrong. These cross pieces are splinter makers. They are on the outside of the frame, so the next thing we'll do is put this as the bucket, the board that the bucket will sit on, and it wants to be 4.5 inches from the front. I've already got that one on, and I'm only going to do one screw for now, maybe forever. Just making sure that it's at that mark, and it just jumped past the mark. We're not going to worry about getting it too square. We'll just worry about getting it on there right now. And then they say just to eyeball this one, as far as in the center, this will be the shelf that your top row of bucket sits on. You know what? That was 52 inches. These are the 55s, sorry. So I gotta take this one out. But before I do that, I think I'm gonna put this top one in best I can while this is standing upright. This is the 52, it wants to be the 55. So we'll take that out and do it right. Okay, after jumping the gun on the 52-inch board, now we can put that in. And that is the backrest for the bottom row of buckets. So we're just gonna hold it best we can. And just get it started on this end. Then we'll come down to this end and really finish it, and then we'll go back to that end. A lot of times you got to figure stuff out when you're working by yourself on how to hold things and how to make things right. Oh. Hey, I'm not perfect. Hope I never told you I was. Just a back rest, so we're not too worried about it. But I think what I would do next time, and for you if this is your first time, I would put this on before you get it standing up like this. It would be a lot easier to work down, you know, so you put it on the back, screw those down rather than trying to hold them to the right level and get the screw in. But hey, you do you. You build yours the way you want. Now, the only pieces we have left are the 55s, 55 inches, and those are gonna go here, here, here. There's 3. And we'll have to see where the rest go. I think there's one in the front bottom, and then one across the back for support. So for those, I might take my own advice. I think I am gonna flip the whole thing down like that so that gravity's my friend. I'll take another look at the pictures that I'm working off of and then put those where they're supposed to go. Well, I found a way to use some of the longer pieces of scrap anyway. I put a triangle in the back. It's all 90-degree angles and so would be kind of wobbly. So we put a triangle in the back to stiffen it up. This is now the waste pile that we ended up with, which I'm very happy about. 3 kind of medium pieces we'll keep for this and that, and the rest of it will go in the fire. Well, okay, we are done. I grabbed a couple buckets that the kids use to pull weeds and put them in there. So it's designed to hold 6 5-gallon buckets, and you can grow a lot of things in 5-gallon buckets is what I've been looking at the internet. We used to have a proper garden, and that went the way of the firewood stack. So the kind of the benefit to this is it's cheap, it's portable, and very easy to make, and very versatile. So we were thinking tomatoes and onions and potatoes and some variation among those 6 buckets. So should be fun, and I don't know, I hope that you build this. It was a cheap project. It cost about $30. I bought a pound of screws and then the 2x4s, and it would be under $30 at the local lumber store that I go to. So assuming you don't have to buy any buckets, you can be growing vegetables for $30. This project took me a couple hours in the evening. Took a break for dinner, but we finished it up. So this was a bucket garden stand, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you find it useful. Thanks for watching.